Yes, here we are guys, welcome to another episode of my F124 My Team career mode. We're here for the Hungarian Grand Prix and officially at the halfway stage. This is episode 13, we had round 12 yesterday. Go watch it, the British Grand Prix guys in the top right, go check it out. Before we jump into potential spoilers, now we're back in blue, we're back in our regular colour scheme and paint mode of attack, and we're going to try and hopefully have another decent result this race. Now we need to try and hopefully bag some more points. Silverstone went pretty well. I feel like the last few races we've definitely found our level and we're not exactly fighting for wins. I think we're top 6, top 8, top 5 give or take. Could nab a podium on an odd race kind of thing. So we're just trying to see if we can maximize points at this stage of the season. Now, we took care of activities focusing on team acclaim, driver acclaim. We also inherited 320 R&D points. Now, I wasn't aware that we had a ERS full in the last race, but we'll take it. I'm certainly not going to say no to 320 R&D points, and we're going to put those to good use. Now, I had some upgrades, but the biggest discounts were on the engine. Now, I weighed up my options and we're going to go for the ERS stators as these are pretty cheap. I just fall short in terms of affording the ECU. So we're going to hold back for now and keep those points back in case we have any failures as the Halo arrives on the 13th and that does go onto the car.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
So we have a department event for the personnel, and for Jamie Chadwick, we have to choose if she's going to spend more time in the gym or not. If we decline, she gains awareness. If we go to the gym, she gains focus, and that is important. So yeah, we'll have that. Thank you very much. And we're going to skip ahead and we are officially at Hungary. So job done. We can now jump into the weekend's action, starting out with the forecast. Now, it seems like we have no rain, so dry weekend ahead. Short qualifying followed by, of course, a 50% race. So, yeah, that's good. We then jump into the performance chart. And again, the line has disappeared. It seems like I have to change the color every race for it to become solid. Either way, last episode we were behind the V-Carb. So with that Halo upgrade, we've actually overtaken them. So we're now back in front. You can see P5 last time out, P6 in Austria. Definitely seems to be our level, and our 100% podium streak when we finish a race has come to an end. So yeah, definitely settling in now, and we've got Belgium, Zandvoort, Monza, Baku coming up as well. So some big power circuits. We are the best team in the engine department, so we'll see how that fares. In the meantime, speaking of the engine, our ICE now very second hand, and we're going to replace that quickly after this session, which is definitely the most worn component on our engine.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through the numbers.
Now, practice went well, very smooth. Tyre wear a bit above average, same for the fuel though, so a little bit of a concern on those two, that we might have to manage our tyres and our fuel a little bit in the race. Pace wise, fairly consistent. Second lap especially good. Tyres started to go off, but we managed to kind of keep it under control on the 5th lap. Either way, race run's done. Car looked okay, second off the pace on softs, quicker than Chadwick, who's 21st. And yeah, a bit of a low-key session, low profile, not showing too much in that one. We bagged up maximum points, as always. Jamie also starting to rack up a little bit more in terms of our R&D points, approaching the 200 mark. We, of course, picked up our usual discounts on certain upgrades. And in terms of acclaim, we are going to jump up to level 17 as a team. So, of course, level 20 is when we unlock that third secondary sponsor. So before qualifying, one last thing to do is change the ICE, and we're also going to change the gearbox. We know we're going to have to take a grid drop because the energy store is not going to make it, but in the meantime we're going to try and manage things and make them last. So we'll go ahead and change the gearbox, and shortly after, the control electronics. Anyway, it's time for the race.
It is time for the drivers to dance on the edge. You are never resting, you are never still in qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix right here at the Hungaroring.
So we begin qualifying with, of course, soft tyres on our car. Now, I didn't really know where we stood in terms of pace, especially single lap pace. So this first lap is going to be a very important baseline, and I've kind of gone back to the traditional format of 2 runs on my first lap, or 2 laps on my first run, better said, on this first attempt. Our first lap is P6, 113.8. No big mistakes, just a bit of I'd say a conservative lap, but now we're going to really give it some and take some risk to try and see where the limit is. Now we've currently dropped to 8th, so we'll hopefully find some more time on this one. Already finding time on the pitch straight. Turn 1, didn't really get all the apex, but we got a decent enough exit as we head towards turn 2. Stay tight and then open it up on the exit and use a lot of battery here. All flat through 3 as we close out sector 1, and we're 2/10ths up. Over the kink, downshift, quick change of direction, and then keep it tight through the right as we then prepare the chicane. Now this is a bit of a lottery, but I try to turn in late and kind of go around the curb a little bit, then use all that extra curb on the runoff to open up the left, which begins the sequence of lefts and rights at the end of sector 2. Currently just under 4/10ths up as we close the second sector, and we're currently 2/10ths up on Hamilton as we run in a little bit deep there, but we do find some time compared to our previous run. And now through the penultimate corner, try not to wash too wide as we pick up the exit. And now the last corner, again going in a little wide, but we do get a good run out of the corner as we cross the line, and we go 4/10ths, 3.5/10ths quicker, back to P6, 113.4. And then I went back to the garage, and rain seems to be on the horizon, which wasn't on the forecast. So that changed the run plan a little bit. I had to go out a little bit earlier, and
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
I went out a little bit earlier, but luckily the rain doesn't seem like it's going to arrive, so we're going to get a clean run on this one. So we get our final attempt on the way. Now, losing a bit of time on the pit straight, but we attack turn 1 at the apex. We find time, but we get a very sluggish exit, taking such a tight line. So we're still down heading into turn 2. Speaking of which, we get a really nice run through there, get a really good exit, and find a little bit more time. So we're going to stretch our margin and go purple again and go further ahead. We have a slight correction over the top of 5, and we just invalidate on the exit. So luckily I had enough fuel, so we're going to go again and look to improve. We've got the tyres for it as well. So here we go, lap underway, let's get to work. No. Just overdriving it a little bit. You know, there was time there and I was trying really hard to push. And when you look at the margins and the gaps, you know, that's why I was overdriving it, because there was a lot of positions to have been gained. Instead, it just didn't quite happen for us. We had a comfortable margin to Stroll and everybody else behind. It's very much just, you know, P1 to P11 covered by 4/10ths. But yeah, a frustrating session. Either way, Chadwick down in 20th, the Saubers at the back. We'll take it. It's a decent session, just annoying that we're not higher up. So yeah, hopefully for the race we could try and fight back and, you know, make up some of those positions. But either way, in the rivalry, Sergio Perez is going to be the one who gets a few more points and brings it back slightly in the rivalry. We're now 6 adrift. But yeah, generally, no big changes here. So qualifying done. We're now going to get into the race, into the main event, and hopefully bag some big points.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of Formula One action. It's tight, it's technical. Some drivers love it, some drivers find it a challenge. Either way, there's been so much drama in the last couple of years at the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're in the northeast of Budapest for the race today then at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid we have Leclerc, Russell, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Martinez, Stroll, Albon, Gasly, Ricciardo, Ocon, Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Sargent, Tsunoda, Chadwick, Joe, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. It's race day, it's gonna be a thriller. I'm Alex Jakes, alongside me is Naomi Schiff. It feels like an obvious question, but I think everyone wants to know, at this stage, are you nervous or excited?
It certainly is a time leading up to the race where drivers feel quite nervous because that adrenaline is starting to build and it gets into your mind. So you've got to stay focused, try not to distract yourself too much. But I will say that it's once the formation lap starts, at least it was for me, that was a time where the nerves started to calm down and I got really honed in and focused on the start that was coming.
So here we go. Time for the main event. P9 on the grid. Already in the points, we do benefit from a couple of grid drops elsewhere, so we're up a little bit further than where we qualified. Granted, I think our pace in qualifying could have been a bit better, and every half a tenth would have made a huge difference in that session. Either way, for this race, we're going to start on the hard tyres. Now, we're going to go for a one-stop, a reverse one-stop. I think this is going to give us the best option to try and pick something up at the end of the race. You can't really overtake here in real life, but in the game, you can make moves. So we're going to bear that in mind and try to fight back in the second part of the Grand Prix. Now, it's important that we try and maintain good pace in the first part of the race, especially on the hard tyre. Because we're in traffic, I'm going for 35 laps on the nose, no more, no less. Hopefully we should save fuel in traffic, so I'm feeling confident, but we're going to have to work for it. I think a top 5 finish would be a decent result. So let's get into it and let's see what happens. Right, not the best formation lap. Struggling to get tyre temp. The AI goes super slow around here. It's one of the slower tracks. So we're struggling to light these hard tyres up. Anyway, we've got some temperature in the rears. That's all we can hope for as we get this race underway. Anyway, let's get to it and let's see what happens. Like, subscribe, lights. And we're away. Not ideal, bit of a bog down. We're going to try and use the outside line here to recover a few positions. We extend the braking zone. Stroll with a very aggressive start, making a few positions. P10 for now though, that's decent. We'll take that. A 1 place loss on the hard tyre. Piastri, Alonso side by side. And they're still going to go side by side here, so let's see if we can pick something up, possibly as Alonso goes clean around the outside. We just stick our nose in, but Stroll is going to hang on. He defends, so we'll go to the outside, and we'll just extend the corner and go clean around the outside and make the pass. And we're back to our original starting position, so we'll take that. Good racing. And just outsmarting the AI there, using it to our benefit. Now important that we try and get back within a second of the leading group here. If we can hang on these tyres, we could be in good shape for this race later on, but we have to try and grab that DRS. So we need to be within a second by the end of the next lap. Oh, I'm a little bit deep. I'm trying to really work hard and hustle to get in, but I think we might just drop out here. Yep, gap 1.1. I didn't quite make it, so I'll tactically let Stroll go here. let him through, and hopefully we can just stick with the train and reform. So let's see if Alonso's got the pace. Stroll 1.2, 1.3 adrift. Not exactly ideal, but they're not getting away too much. The gap has really shot up on this lap. Stroll not having DRS definitely played a big part, unlike on the previous lap, so I guess we're going to have to look to try and get past. Although we're a little bit far back, we do set a personal best. Right, we'll try and get back through, down the inside. Not the best move, getting stuck on the curb, but we'll have the advantage with DRS, and we go through. But now we're going to have to really hustle to try and get within Piastri's DRS here. What a difference a few laps makes. We've completely dropped Stroll, and the gap to Piastri is 1.9. We've got it down quite a decent bit, but we're going to really lose out on the pit straight here. On 16.7, it's good pace. But look at the time we lose without DRS in the main straight. We need a little bit of battling up ahead, and that would really just help them concertina up and lose a little bit of time, which will bring them back to me. This is the closest I've gotten, 1.5. And this rate will catch, although I'm starting to run out of battery. So I've got to be careful, but we're getting closer and closer. Right, the battling. Here we go. This might be the opportunity to close up. Right, I think we're going to get it. 1.1. We're pretty decent on this part of the track. Just got to nail this corner here. Someone's breaking away, or a few cars are actually breaking away, so I wonder if this Ferrari's got damage. Just based off how the cars in front are starting to drive off. Either way, we've got a chance now to get our batteries fully charged up before we push on to the next leg. Yeah, that Ferrari is definitely damaged, so they're all going to get through one by one. So let's just try and use this and charge up a little bit. Overtakes are not really important at this stage. It's either damage or a car issue for Leclerc. I've not had a radio, but his front wing from back here looks okay, so I'm leaning towards car issue. I can see both of his end plates. Right then, Alonso should go through here. Possibly Piastri also. We're going to prepare the exit and try to look for the next straight.
Okay, Jamie's in the pits. Jamie is in the pits now.
Right, Piastri opens the gap. We'll just drive into it and follow him through. Right, that's us past Leclerc. Now then, we've got Piastri, Alonso, then there's a gap to Perez and a Merc, and then another one ahead with Verstappen and Norris. So Sainz leads the race. Right, let's see if Piastri tries to go for a move on Alonso here. We'll be ready to go and not be too far behind. It's a double DRS zone, so it's a double penalty for the car in front that doesn't have the DRS. At this stage now, I'd probably say I'm quicker, and I can use these tyres to make some moves. Alonso giving me a big old squeeze there and not letting me open up the line at all. Still there, but we overtake around the outside. Bit of a pinch, returning the favour. But we're through, and now we're going to get a shot at passing Piastri as we just cut that corner too much. Sends me wide for a track limit warning. Let's try and get Oscar on the pit straight, and then hopefully just launch and leapfrog onto Perez and the Mercedes ahead. Right, let's just keep it tidy through here. Exit will be important, which we do get. Right then, here we go. Let the DRS do the work for us. Down the inside, easy move. Just make sure we get the exit here again. There we go. Right, P6. Now we'll use everything we've got on the next lap or two to try and get onto Perez and Russell ahead. Let's see if we can try and get within the DRS. Ugh. Gap was 1.1. I was trying to push there to catch up. We've managed to drop Piastri. Hopefully we'll have it next time around. So now we're just going to wait until the pit phase. They'll likely be in probably next lap, if not the one after. If we get a clear-cut chance to pass, we will. But for now, we're just going to hold station and get ready to push yet again. And there we go, cars into the pits. Perez, Russell stay out.
Here's some information on Russell for you. They've got an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Okay, interesting. That might come into effect right now. So we might have to look to pass right away. Although Perez being in the middle makes it a bit of a pain. You can see already Russell's going slow through there. Let's get ready to strike. We might be able to get them both here. And they're both going to be on their in laps as well. So let's just be cautious and try to be smart about looking for this move. Try to have a look there. But yeah, we're going very slowly. I just don't think we're going to pass until Russell pits. Unfortunately, I could be able to maybe send it on Checo on this next 90-degree right. But we're still going to be stuck behind George. Up the inside. Through we go. But now Russell will pit anyways. Just got to make sure we get DRS. There we go. Right, now we're on our own. We get to push clean air signs in as well. These are critical laps. We should overcut George with his car trouble. So Perez is going to be our reference for when we, pit and look to rejoin. So we'll know how well we've done based off where Perez is. So let's crack on. Let's try and put in some decent times. I'm pushing flat out, doing the closest thing I can to qualifying laps. The reality is we're not that quick and the tyres are pretty knackered. I'd like to go longer, but there's more danger from the likes of Piastri who might get in front. So we have to box. Oh, that was a good entry. Aggressive on the braking. Piastri's also dragging Aston Martin with him. He's just behind Perez, so I fear we might be a bit further back than I thought. Yeah, we're well behind. Alonso's with him, 2.4.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Here comes Russell. We're going to be ahead of him, whether he's still damaged or not. Either way, we're P7 in this race, so we have gained 2 positions. But now, can we climb any higher? That's the big question. Can we shave off a few more points off our rivals? Warning number 2. I hate that curb so much. Sometimes it's so inconsistent. Russell's back to normal. He's not slow. He's full pace. So good thing we came out ahead of him. This is my fastest lap attempt. Got to try and beat a 15.7, I believe, from Max Verstappen to score an extra point. There we go. 15.4. Also gives us a bit of a gap to George. Battling in front, Perez, v Piastri. Could get P4 here if they lose enough time. The pace of the 3 guys ahead is very good. I'm not exactly making inroads. Very, very strong pace from all of them. I'm trying to also go for a bit of a recharge. I used my battery on the fastest lap, but we lose a lot without DRS. If they don't battle, it's going to be very tough because my tyres will start to die.
Green flag.
Oh, yellow ahead.
Yellow flag.
That could be...
Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
It's
okay,
Norris.
Information on Norris. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
That's huge in the championship. He was ahead of us, so we'll gain some points on Lando today. Thanks for that. That's massive. P6 now with the fastest lap of the race. The gap has stayed the same for the last 3 laps. So we're entering the crossover. I just can't catch. The McLarens were so strong. Obviously Norris is now out, but Piastri's pulling them along. And they're just sitting single file and nothing's changing. Right, I think this is where the chase ends. The gap's now going up, so we'll just make sure to not get a warning and finish where we are, which is still a decent result. That kind of confirms the tyres are starting to let go. Yeah, tyres are starting to go now, so we'll just bring this one home. Still a decent result.
Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
Yep, I can feel it. George Russell is absolutely flying right now. I'm really struggling for pace. I'm not driving badly, I'm just not quick anymore. The tyres have suddenly dropped off. And the guys had pulled away, and Russell is eating me up at a second per lap. So I'm charging up right now. I've got a full charge, so we're ready to defend, but we are going to have to fight for this. That was a good lap. Used a bit of battery on that one, especially in the first sector. Able to keep Russell out of DRS for an extra lap. If I can do one more, I'm confident we can hang on. Gap is right there, flirting with it. This is a good corner for us. We gain a tenth or two, and we can just give ourselves a little bit of a margin. Russell's really close though. We'll hang on for this lap, but next lap he's going to have it. Russell's on me. We're going to have to really make sure we get a good exit out of the last corner. Trying to make sure we hold some battery back for when it matters. Our straight line speed has been good all weekend. I'm going to short shift and see if that works. Nope. Completely backfires. Right, here we go. We better hope we've got enough of just the battery to hold on. Brake late. Park it. Straighten the car up. Get the exit. Show him the long way around. Been a little bit deep, but we managed to keep enough on the apex head to not give a car's width away. Russell can't get through. I think at this point we're going to be able to hold on to this. Just got to keep it tidy now through the rest of the lap and not get a warning. Otherwise that could hurt us quite badly. So let's bring it home. It looks like Carlos Sainz will win this one. Who's going for the last few corners. Verstappen will get second. So we're going to lose out to those two in the championship. But with Norris's DNF, we'll claw back a few points on him. And I believe he's P3 right now, so that's our direct rival. Perez, though, our actual rival, is going to finish ahead of us in game, so he's going to claw back a few points. But anyway, we'll take it. Good drive. P11 qualifying, P9 start at a P6 finish, plus a fastest lap. Decent race, decent result.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Was coming today. It was always likely to be a super smooth operation from Carlos Sainz, who takes the win.
And it's one thing to win, but to win like that in total dominant style, that was a fantastic drive, and it is not one that we see very often.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
So there we go, race results confirmed. Sainz, Verstappen, Piastri are top three. Piastri looking very quick around here today. The McLaren looking rapid. We do get the extra point confirmed, so we do get 9 points today. And you can see the top 10. Further down, Jamie Chadwick, P21, last on track. Within a minute, but last nonetheless. And yeah, I'm still wanting to see some progress from her. Now then, let's delve into the standings after that race. Verstappen leads the way. We cut down the deficit to Norris a little bit. Also, we pull away from Leclerc and Russell. So a good day in the office all round, to be honest with you. Perez does pull back a few points, but generally no complaints. And that does mean in the constructors, Aston, Alonso do outscore us, and they're kind of slowly closing in, very, very slowly, but we still have a very healthy 68-point margin. We kind of got that gap early on in the season, and it's been more or less held throughout the whole year. So, yeah, we'll take that, and we'll keep moving forward. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. On screen now, you're going to have the post-race fallout from that. So in terms of, our rivalry status with Sergio Perez, our acclaim rating, where we just leveled up to level 17 as a team. Also, of course, payouts. We should have hopefully secured the bag and got everything paid up on that one as well. So a good day all round. If you guys enjoyed the episode, smash the like button, subscribe. Let's try and hit over 1,000 likes. If you're new, then, like I said, subscribe. A massive shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Also check out the 2 videos on screen, guys, if you haven't seen them already. And I'll see you guys in the next one.